and welcome to Hidden Gems with me, Natasha Parker. I'm very, very happy today because I have one of my boos.
Hey, boo.
Here at Hidden Gems, and we are in a new space today. I shouldn't say new, another space. It's not new, it's just another space because we had to get this boo in, honey. He was in town. He said, this is all I have. This is all we have ready, and the other studio was booked. So, Joey, I am so glad that you are here. I always have my guests introduce themselves to the Hidden Gems community. So there is your camera. Tell everybody who you is.
Hi, Hidden Gems. My name is Joey Zauzig. Honey, I've been friends with Natasha for, I don't know what. You know, my timeline is all off, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. But probably like, I don't know, about 10 years. And we just became quick friends. And I'm so proud of you for doing this podcast. Thank you for having me on.
Of course, babe. Also, tell the people what you do every day.
I'm a content creator full time. I've been doing it for about 8 years. Before that, I worked in fashion PR. I've been on a reality television show. I'm on a really popular radio station on Sirius, Channel 102, Jeff Lewis Live every week. And there's a lot more coming. You know, I have my skin tea recipes. My content is really uplifting. It's really, it's just about being your best self, learning things about yourself, taking accountability, and just living a authentic, true life and having fucking fun while doing it.
And you've coined, you know, the internet bestie, because you are our internet bestie. Even as your friend, I'll see some of your videos and I'm like, I needed to see that today. I needed to hear that today. What made you start doing the uplifting or like dating content?
I think so I went on Good Morning America and they were like, your internet's best friend. And then it kind of just went everywhere. And
yes.
I really ramped up those videos because I was realizing how many people probably needed to hear the things that I was sharing because it's coming from personal experience. Like, the thing is, we're all going through something. It doesn't matter who you are. And we're all just trying to like live and get by and live a really great, amazing, fun, beautiful life. But we get obstacles. And I feel like when I was growing up, I tried to come out and I tried to just pretend to be something I wasn't. And I didn't have the confidence that I always yearned to have. So when I worked through getting the confidence, I decided to share those videos because I didn't have anyone to snap me out of a dark time or, sometimes you just got to look in the mirror and snap out of it. There's a little delusion to it. I love being a little delusional. You ain't going to get anywhere unless you're delusional as fuck.
Yep.
And I was the king of that because I really snapped myself out of many hard times. So I was like, let's make these little videos, nothing too crazy or long, simple, just to remind people that like, it's not that deep. You're hot as fuck and you're going to be okay.
Yep.
But you got to believe that you're going to be okay. The only reason why people stay down in the dumps is because they don't believe it and they allow the experiences that they have to control the rest of their future. So you really are in control of your own happiness, no matter what someone else might do to you. Nothing is thrown at you that you can't handle. So I decided to share that. And now it's just become this huge thing that people stop me in the street every day. And it's like, I make an impact. You know,
Yep.
It's not just like they like my outfit or they like me drinking and being silly on camera. It's really just, you've helped me through a breakup. You made me move to LA, follow my dreams, get over something, manifest. Like changing people's lives is like what I think I'm on the earth to do. So I love every second of it. I love meeting everyone. And I like just sharing this shit that I've had to tell myself to get through a bad day.
And so do you think that you found purpose through doing these videos, or was the purpose to always uplift and like help people? Because obviously you go from being a fashion influencer to this inspirational personality now, basically, right? Like badass bitch.
And I think that and I think it's changing. You know, I've known you for a long time and I've had like 9 lives in this industry so far, which has been really exciting because I've been able to adapt to the TikTok world, which didn't exist when I started my career. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people get left behind. And I've kind of had this slow burn career that has really served me well. And it's kind of just beginning again. And it's another live in this industry that I love so much and I feel proud to be a part of. But I did find purpose through it. And listen, I'm a specific type of bitch. And like we all know that. Like I have my shit just like everybody else does, but I want to learn more about myself. And I want to try and be the best version of myself I can be. And I struggle with confidence really badly. And I don't have, it's just been constant work to try and find balance in the confidence that I have within myself and the belief that I have within myself. And yeah, girl, we're getting deep on hidden gems.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
That's what this is about.
And I think what I'm going through right now, with going through a divorce and a breakup, it's been the hardest thing I've ever been through.
Mm-hmm.
And there's ebbs and flows. And it is hard to go on the internet and share these inspirational videos when I'm struggling. So,
Yes.
And there has to be a balance of what you share and what you don't.
That's what I was going to ask, is like, knowing that you have your personal battle, and we'll get more into it, do you feel like it's almost like sometimes a burden to perk up and be this like happy voice for other people? Or are you like, this is going to snap me out of my sadness because I know there's people out there who want to hear what I have to say, or they need this today, right?
I do feel like a certain amount of responsibility to the community that I built, that I feel super close with.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm always going to belt it out. Like, I'm going to make the videos even when I'm feeling down, but they don't come off as authentic. I look back at some of my content, I'm like, what the fuck? And I got into my car one day and I was just having a really bad day and I tried to film all these videos. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're allowed to not feel okay and not try and like fake this like persona or personality every single day, like when you're not feeling it. Like, so now if I don't feel it, I don't feel it.
Yep.
And most of the time I do feel it because I love making videos. I love making content that's authentic and feels uplifting, and I'm always going to do it. But I think that...
because that's who you are.
Yeah,
I mean, even before you started making the videos to your friends, the people you love, like, you were that to us.
Yeah, and I never thought in my wildest... Oh, this is going to be a good clip for promo, but I never thought in my wildest dreams that like at 32 years old that I would be going through what I'm going through now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been of the mindset that, the bad things I've always been able to work through, but you don't prepare for everything. I didn't think that I'd be going through a divorce at 32. And I think it's truly been one of the hardest things that I've gone through, and trying to connect with an audience at the same time and uplift an online persona and put your best foot forward. And the saying, like, it's like when it rains, it pours. Like,
well, because it seems like in your professional career, you are at like a peak, right? Like, you are peaking. And then it was like, but personally, obviously you started having issues with your partner, and then you guys decided to get a divorce or going through a divorce, right? So do you think that people, like, we always ask that question, can you have it all, right?
oof.
Do you think that that's possible? Because a lot of times that's what it seems like. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love, but I don't have a job right now. Or this, this is suffering, or, do you know what I mean?
I think about that all the time. I mean, I think that, listen, to be completely honest, I feel like if my career wasn't at the place that it's at right now, and I have to believe that it's happening because something falls out of your life, better things fall in. I'm a big believer in that because I've lived it. I've breathed it. I'm in it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'd be okay if both things, my personal life and my professional life, were both going downhill. I think I would get through it because you have to get through it, but I don't think I would be... My career right now is the only thing getting me through like the hard days, because there's really hard days right now. And, but I don't want to take a break because I'm getting all these things that I dreamt of. And now I'm like, holy shit, I have all these opportunities. But, being with someone that tried to not purposely, but make you feel bad for getting success at some point, was difficult, because you look back on it and you're like, what was I doing? Like, why? I'm a Cancer bitch. Like, I have a big heart. I love love. I love to take care of people. Like, I never saw the negative sides of my very first love that I had, because I've never had a love like I had like this. And
would you say it's your first love?
Yeah. Like, I would say it's my greatest love I've ever had. So
yes,
I've been in love, but like, love is so subjective. Like, there's only so much. Just because you're in love doesn't mean it's got to work. And just because it's got to work doesn't mean you got to be in love. Like, everybody needs to be able to understand that. And
the compatibility.
People change. And I don't think that necessarily, listen, when we first met, our worlds were, we believed in each other so much. We were so complimentary. We wanted the best.
Yes.
And we always talked about all these dreams that we had together.
Yes.
And they happened. And then when they started to happen, we went like this. And that was a hard pill to swallow, because the success that we both had kind of at the same time, like for me, I wanted to share it with him. And then you get the success and you're alone. And it's like, you know, you're working a lot and you're doing interviews and you're on the radio, you're on live TV, you're doing shows for thousands of people, and like, you're not okay inside, but you show up because you need to make the money and you're paying lawyers' bills and you need to do what you got to do. And then you do show up and you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you love to meet everyone and you love to uplift people. But then once that ends, the second it ends, you're by yourself in a hotel room and you just got paid a $30,000 check, but you're alone.
You're alone.
And now that check is going to lawyers' fees, and now it's going to everything else. And I think, you know, it's a maturing, awakening experience, and it's scary as fuck to be 32 and to be alone. And, you know, last time I was alone, I was hustling in New York. I had just gotten to a moment where at the time I was making really good money, but I was struggling still, for sure, you know? And over the course of the last like 8 years, things have changed. So this is the first time I've been single and like really have been working a lot and making, you know, good money and being able to sustain things on my own. But it's also like, I don't want to make money for myself. Like I'm so proud of myself, but for me, success means sharing it with other people, like being able to take your friends on trips, like being able to like share with your partner. And that's just how I've always been. So I'm just figuring out how to like treat myself better and love myself and give myself like the attention and the self-care that I deserve, because I've never done that. It's always been for everybody else. Contrary to popular belief, because I think everyone thinks that I'm like the opposite. And then you get to know me.
Yes.
And I'm really fucking sick of the misconception about me, and I'll never be the person to pop off online about it. But I see these messages and I'm like, I know who I am, good, bad, and ugly. I have bad sides. I'm very aware of like all the things.
Who you are.
Who I am, which is not all great.
Yeah.
But there is really good sides of me, and like I can't let the negativity get to me. But I'm learning so much about myself, and like I'm having this growth spurt, because you can try and work on yourself for years and you think it's a slow burn, but in reality, you're really just thinking about the fact that you want to change, and then something happens,
you don't actually
and
change.
The next day you are different and you have changed, and it does happen overnight sometimes.
Did that happen to you?
And that happened to me. I mean, even sitting here right now, in the way that I'm articulating who I am and like the understanding of like the growth that I've exhibited and whatever, I have grown because of this experience. And
you're divorced.
Yeah, I'm divorced, and the divorce has been like the most growth factor in my life. And also just figuring out who the fuck you are and the parts of yourself that you need to just move on with and that you need to accept. Because there's parts of myself that I've always wanted to change. My voice, the way that I articulate things, the way that I might exaggerate, the way that I like to be, like I say it all instead of keeping in things and not knowing the line to cross with people and coming off drama. There is things about you that are just never going to change. And you need to know, as long as you're not harming anyone.
You are the drama.
I am the drama. And it comes from the fucking heart. It might sound stupid, but I'm not harming anyone by bringing up things that most people wouldn't tell you to your face. I'm not going to talk behind your back. If you bother me, or you're making fun of my friend, or you're talking shit about my friend, or you know, even with like, you know, I do want to get into something with you. Even with friends that I had in LA that I introduced to you and you became friends with.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was hurtful for me, and we took a pause on our friendship. But, you know, when I confronted those people about the fact that they had been talking shit about Brian, I was so protective over, and Brian's my ex-husband for anyone that's, I was so protective over him, and I'm still protective over him. But when I confronted those people, they just fell out of my life and then I became drama because I made this big thing because I was caught off guard. I'm like, how could you talk shit about someone that's let you into her life, paid for trips, subsidized your rooms when we go on trips? And it was really hard to lose those friendships. but it did me in the best. But then I saw them hang out with you, and I'm all for everyone being friends. But then we fell out because I don't know what they were telling, but I do know they were running around town saying that I was drama. You don't want anything to do with him. It's always a mess. It's always messy. And I think that I am messy a little bit sometimes, but it comes from the heart. And I don't bring things up to derail friendships. I bring them up to talk about it, move on, and go from there. And I think it says a lot about someone when they can't. I'm not saying anyone in specific, but even with my relationship, like when people can't like move on or whatever, like that's a them thing. Like if they can't communicate, move on and continue the friendship, and they have to exit the relationship just for someone bringing up the way that they feel, that's a red flag.
Well, I'll say this. I do think that it's such a great thing that you do address things head on. That is great. That is a good thing about you. Maybe you don't do it at the right time or with the right candor sometimes, but but you do it, right? And
I'm working on the candor and the thing, but that is me.
Yeah, but I will say that things, you know, I think when you're in a relationship, be it short term, long term, whatever, I think you are very wrapped up into your relationship. That's anyone, right? You included anyone that's like, you are so immersed into that world. You know, before you dated Brian, every time you came to New York, you would always hit me up. You'd be like, hey, bitch, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. You know, then you got into your relationship. You guys started doing things together. I didn't hear from you as much, right? So then, whereas other friends, when they would come to New York, the friends that I met through you, they would always hit me up. They would always tell me, hey, girl, I'm here. Let's get dinner. Let's do this. Let's do that. Ba, 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 da, da, da. And so over that time, you may not have seen it, but we were building our own relationship.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so obviously it's not, you know, something that, you know how we are. It's like we don't always post everything we're doing always at the right time when we're doing things. So you might not have known or seen that we were getting closer because you were so immersed in your own relationship and everything like that. So it was a shock to you when you were like, wait, what's happening? These people are hanging out without me?
Totally.
Right?
And I didn't mind it, but just because those people were doing bad things behind my back, and then you were hanging out with them. So we had this moment. But to my point,
which also, when someone knows that you're friends with someone, no one's ever talked shit.
They don't go there.
Well, but they've never talked shit about you to me. Do you know what I mean? Not something that we've already talked about or whatever. Saying that you're drama, I'm like, yeah, so am I. Like, do you know what I mean? That's not, to me, that's not talking shit. Because it's just like the elephant in the room. Okay, we are all drama, whatever, right? But the specifics, and that's the thing. I always say the LA gay drama, it's always changing every 5 minutes. Every time I go to LA, I'm like, oh, have you talked to? They're like, oh, they're not cool anymore. They're not this. They're not that. I don't know. I have no idea.
And you have been and have that naive sense of like, especially the LA girls, you don't live there.
Yeah.
But I will say, to my point, we were able to talk things through.
Yes.
We had a conversation and we moved on, which is like what a mature person does when you have a conversation about, because regardless if the feeling that someone has isn't valid, they feel that way.
Yes.
And though you didn't do something to them, they still feel that way, whether it was intentional or meant to hurt or whatever. You got to have the conversation and listen to how someone's feeling, and then you can say your side, and then you move on, and that's friendships, and that's just learn as you go.
So I have a question for you. You know how you do like the Joey Ask Me Anything, and it's a lot of like relationship-y type questions, right?
AJA, baby, ask Joey anything.
Yes. So I have a question for you. How would you answer this? Hey, Joey, I'm in a relationship with this guy. I've been dating him for a while. He's so great. I love him so much, but my friends don't like him. Or they don't love him. And I haven't seen them in so long and I miss them, but I don't know how to do both. What should I do?
It's one of those things where like one of the biggest prerequisites for me when I'm dating someone is you got to get along with my friends. And I don't ever want to be the person that like secludes myself from people when I'm dating someone, but it does happen. But if you can like wake up to it and find that balance again, once you get in a, in the beginning, I get it. You want to spend all your time with that person, but then it has to change.
Right.
And if the friends aren't vibing with the relationship and the person, I do think it's a red flag. Sometimes you have certain friends that they're the red flag and the friends don't want you to be happy.
Right.
But if every single person in the room has the same feeling about somebody, most likely, if it looks like a dog, it smells like a dog, it breathes like a dog, it's probably a dog.
Okay.
bitch. So if everyone feels the same way, you've got to believe that. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, when that happens and you're in that situation, you will find out that person that everyone thought and was trying to tell you was not a good person was not a good person.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to figure it out for yourself. You got to see it through. You have to be on the journey. It's there for you to learn. And like, it's not any of your friends' business to tell you how they feel if they don't like someone and tell you to break up with someone. It's not helpful.
Yes.
Unfortunately. I've learned the lesson the hard way.
Did people tell you to physically break up, or did people just express how, you know, there's a difference in how they feel about you and your partner?
I think it was just like the difference. I don't think they said like break up, but it was like exhausting because people say like, you don't want to hear that. Even like when I broke up, even like right after I broke up with, we broke up and we're going through the divorce and everything like that. People were just like, well, we felt this way about him or that way about him. And it's just like, I don't want to know anyone's feelings about it. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know if you liked him or if you didn't like him or whatever. It's not helpful.
Because I mean, I think a true friend wants you to be happy.
Absolutely.
And that, I think, is the truth. But was there a turning point for you where, like, you know, we talk about pivots in life and in relationships here on the podcast a lot. Was there a moment where you were like, okay, we need to pivot, or I need to pivot, and that led to this? Or was it just like one day you woke up and was like, it's not working?
I was sick of fighting. I was sick of trying to explain to someone that being wrong is okay. Making someone feel a certain type of way, even though you didn't mean it. It's okay to hear someone and then explain your side.
Yes.
But it becomes very exhausting when there's no accountability and there's zero apologies.
Yes.
And then you start realizing that it's taking more energy out of you from everything else creatively that you're trying to do and your career and everything. You're just focused on trying to get this person to hear you. And when you realize that, it's sort of like, what do I do? Because I can't keep going on with this my whole life. And, you know, when I wanted to take a break, I felt like I hadn't really done the work to understand how I didn't show up in the relationship, because I was just focused on how angry I was with how he didn't show up.
Right.
And now that I'm going through like the past 6 years, it's like I did a lot to not show up. And he gave me signs on how he needed me to show up, and I didn't do anything about it. And listen, I don't regret anything.
Did you go to therapy? Did you guys go to therapy?
There's a hot take I have on therapy, y'all. I said this before we ever went to couples therapy, and I will hold this down to the core, and y'all aren't going to agree with this at all. I think couples therapy is when the relationship is over. And I think when you start going to couples therapy and you need it, it either breaks the relationship quicker or elongates it until it falls apart. But I think therapy does not help. Couples therapy does not help. I think individual therapy is great while you're in a relationship. I think couples therapy is just detrimental. And I've always said that. And when we did start seeing couples therapists, I didn't like the therapist. I'll never go to. It was horrible. And I think it was a big part of the detriment of our relationship was going to couples therapy.
What do you think of premarital therapy? Meaning, like, before there's all these problems that arise, before anything happens, do you think that, because I have heard a lot of people have great success with that, because I'm putting all my shit on the line before we jump the broom.
Listen, my opinion can change, but at this moment, that premarital it's like you either click with someone, you're with them, and you guys can work through and communicate effectively, or you can't. And it's good to have a third party sometimes, and that's what I always thought. But like, what are you trying to get out of the therapy? Just so you don't run into problems, whatever. Hopefully you'll be able to figure out those problems amongst yourself, and I think that's a good relationship to be able to communicate. I think that when you're in a relationship with everybody has a different communication style. I think the way to go with communication is you need to form a new way of communication all together from scratch that only you two can understand, a way that works for both of you. my communication style is not going to work for your communication style. And when we try and get you to be on my wavelength, that's when you start butting heads. You got to figure out something that works in the middle for both of you. And I think a lot of couples miss that. Like, communication is so fucking hard. But no therapist in the world is going to teach you that. And maybe they can. And this is why I said down the line, maybe I will change my opinion.
Yeah.
Right now,
you don't think it helps?
This is a hot take. I don't believe in therapy at all right now.
Oh, couples therapy.
Any therapy.
Oh, wow.
Right now, because I've done therapy since I was like 6. I've seen like literally every therapist, like everybody. And it just, I work through so much shit by myself. And I think that there's going to come a time where I'm going to want to get a therapist soon. I've had a therapist in the past, but I've done great growth and mindful shit by myself. But right now I don't want to talk to anyone about shit. I just want to like figure it out myself, be with myself, be in my own thoughts, figure out how to be proud of myself again. That's where I'm at, because I think that I've gotten that taken away from me the past 6 years. I think the past year I was just like fucking beat down. Like, and I really lost a big chunk of my self-confidence. And I haven't realized it till very recently, now that I'm out of that relationship.
Because you're in that self-reflection period. Yeah, I will say that we are very pro therapists here at Hidden Gems. And if any therapists are listening to this, somebody help my boo out when he's ready. But I do think, to your point, timing is really important. And I think that if you are mentally exhausted, especially if you were always trying to explain yourself in a relationship, speaking to someone where you're trying to explain yourself all day also might not be beneficial to you. And I do truly believe that everything we need is inside of us. And I think that time that you're taking to reflect for you and what you need, like it's a timeline. And like you said, maybe you'll need to talk to someone else and get that other feedback at some point. But right now, that self-reflection and really hunkering down. The other thing that came to me is really great. The other thing that came to me as you were talking was, you were talking about different communication styles, and you're also talking about who people are in relationships and how you've changed in your relationship for the better, as far as, the reflection that you're doing, but also for the worse, and like how you view yourself because of how you felt beat down. I also think that what I've realized in a lot of relationships, and not necessarily saying yours, but I don't know, you'll tell me if this happened to you, but the person who changes the most in the relationship versus the person who doesn't change as much, like you're getting on their page, right? Opposed to them getting on your page. They come out of the relationship in another relationship sooner than the other person, doing business as usual, because they stood firm in whatever it is who they are. And the other person is like, I've kind of did a whole 180 for you.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm trying to figure out, I'm not trying to go back to who I was before you. I got to find a whole new me.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Because I'm just trying to figure out who the fuck I am again, because I was always with this person. And I think that my life changed so much over the course of our relationship, even just outside the relationship. And it would have changed regardless. But I think we just created this like super big life really fast. And, I want my dogs back, bitch. And
we want your dogs back.
That just came out of nowhere, but that's just how I feel about the whole thing. And I just feel like life got big. He kept my dogs. Like those dogs, we created this big family, and those dogs mean the world to me. And it's really hard to talk about for me, because I love those dogs more than anything. And him taking them and picking them up from daycare and not telling me was like just such a smack in the face. And, like it just goes back to not having any fucking communication style. You can't just tell me like, let's figure out something in a way that we can co-parent. And it broke my heart. And that's not like him. So I think that it comes from hurt, and I have to give him that. But, every day I have to wake up without my dogs. And it's like, why does one person in a thing have to lose anything? Like, and I'm losing everything. And the dogs is like the hardest part. If you're not a dog lover, you might not get it. But if you are a dog lover, you get it. Those dogs are my everything. Once they're like humans. And the way that it was done, I just don't like. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to shit on anyone. And I will always wish him the best and will always put out like good vibes for him. But
Because that's who you are. Yeah.
Yeah. And exactly. I don't understand the way it was done. And that's something that I just can't let go of. Like, you think you know someone. I think we talked about this earlier. It's like the person you marry is not the person you divorce.
Rachel
And
Lindsay said that.
Rachel
Yes.
Lindsay said that on your podcast. And I feel like that's how I feel. Like, I'm just like, who is this? But
also, and
I have a lot to say about it, and I don't want to shit on anyone. But like, eventually, I will talk about the things that I figured out as I process this and how I see how the other person acts, because it's got crazy, girl. Shit's gotten crazy. It doesn't have to be crazy. And there's lawyers, and it doesn't. Sitting down and talking to someone can really solve a lot.
Yeah.
It can solve a lot.
Yeah. Do you think that it's hard to date content creators or influencers or people who are public on social media?
I'll never do it. I will say something I've been struggling with, though, and I haven't talked about this with anyone, is now that I am single, I'm going to date, I feel like I have a hard time understanding, like, what are people going to think when they see my profile? Because I think it's a turnoff for some people. There's so many people that look up to my videos and watch them every day. But there's also, in the gay community, like, I don't necessarily, someone's going to be like, seeing me like, get over him, bitch, period, you're better than him. And necessarily be like, that's who I want to be with. But I think once you get to know me and you meet me and we go on a date, like, you can't resist me. So I feel like I'll get there. But it's a big worry of mine right now. Just like, am I going to find someone? Because that's what they see. And I don't think that people, until you meet me or we have a conversation, you don't know the business of what I do. And you've known me a long time. I take my job so seriously. And it's a business. And it's lucrative. And there's a whole system behind it, and I feel like I do a good job of not making it seem that way.
Do you have a private account just for your close friends and people that you care about?
No, everything is. I treat my that's why I don't have a close friend story. I think close friend story is so fucking weird. By the way,
oh, I have one.
Am I on it?
Yes, bitch, you on it. You on it. You on it. You are on
okay,
it.
Good. Oh, yes, I am. I've seen some. I don't like close friends. I share everything with everybody. So like my stories are my stories.
Yeah.
And I treat my TikTok and my Instagram as like a Finsta or like and that's why I think people like it, because I don't hold back. Sometimes I'm like, should I hold back a little bit more?
Well, I think that's why people love you, for your transparency, and only you can say if you should or not. But I do think, I have been thinking about this from the dating perspective, because I also feel like men, before they go to my Instagram, before they see my Instagram, we are met with a certain energy. But then after, it's like either they feel insecure or they'll make little comments like, oh, I bet you have 1,000 guys in your DMs. Like, da, da, da. It's like, yeah, it's Bob with no picture. You know what I mean?
It's
like in a private.
Bob, bitch.
Yeah, it's Bob with no picture in a private
Bob
account.
With no picture, with a bald head and no shit. It's like, it's never who you think it is, right?
They're like, oh,
everyone thinks we're getting like, that's the plot twist that nobody gets. It's Bob with a bald head. Everyone thinks that there's like these hot guys sliding in. Most people don't, because they're intimidated by the amount of followers. And I think people think that like either they don't want to date an influencer, or they think like this is going to get lost. What's the point? We want the DMs. Keep the dick pics coming.
Yep.
We want that invisible picture. We want to tap the screen and see what you're working with, if it's good.
Yes. And if you're going to slide into someone's DMs, you have a private account. Maybe.
Do you ever get dick pics?
Not on Instagram, no. That's why on Tinder I did. That's why I couldn't do Tinder like after, I don't know.
Have you ever seen a great dick pic and you're just like, oh, I'll go out with you?
No. No.
They're pretty bad.
No, it's not even that the dick is bad. It's just the gall of it all.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
It's like, wow,
really?
bitch. You sent me. I had a really weird thing happen to me one time, where it's happened like once or twice. I did sell a foot picture one time for $15,000, and they said they PayPal'd me. It was the craziest thing. Brian said I could do it at the time, whatever. I have another weird dick pic story though, but someone sent me a video of them with like a laptop with my profile up and them scrolling through pictures of like shirtless pictures of people, and they were like jacking off on the thing, like, yeah, they like came to pictures of me, and I was like, this is flattering, but really fucking weird.
Where did they send it?
To a DM. So they were like,
But you have to know that people are doing that, right?
I don't think so. I don't think it's a normal thing. I don't think people are seeing my body and they're like,
yeah, they are, Joey. Yes, they are, honey.
all I'm going to say is keep the dick pics coming. I like seeing what we're working with.
So has that happened to you? You've seen a dick pic and you was like, okay.
I feel the same way you kind of do a little bit. Like, I feel like I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, yes, it's a great dick, but like, now it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird because
there is something beautiful about the illusion of going on a date and not knowing what they're working with, unless it's a micro dick. Then you get into a micro dick and you're like, what do you do now?
What do you do now?
Well, you just tell them to suck your dick because you have to be like, I've had a micro dick and this is not hidden gems appropriate, but I'm going to say it anyway because this is going to pop off.
Look, it is a hidden gem.
It's a hidden gem, bitch. Not in the way that we've been used to, honey. You know, you get to a micro dick and a micro penis and you see it. It's a medical thing, so you can't be rude. So you just have to be like, let's like change up position. It's weird.
I will.
Have you ever seen a micro penis?
Not in person, but no, not in person. I've been very lucky.
You're lucky. You're blessed.
I am blessed, honey. I thank you to all of the men's for not having the micro penis.
You can't bring me on your podcast and not know that we're not going to pivot to a micro penis conversation.
Period.
Or just a conversation about dicks in general.
Yeah, because we're very open about that, and I love that for us.
Sex should be an open conversation. Sex should be had at all times. I've been being a slut lately. I'm not dating, but I've just been hooking up with like everybody. So, I'm not afraid to... Not like different people every night.
Have you been on a date? Any date?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on dates for sure. Okay. But like, I'm not ready yet.
You're not ready to really date?
No. Oh my God. I mean,
Did you have an influx of people that you've known for a while be like, oh, so she's single now?
Oh, yeah. But again, it's bald with the bob, with the bob, with the bob, with the fucking bald head. No.
Okay.
No one I'm interested in, but I'm not like I don't have a type, which is like makes it very interesting. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to be good looking, obviously. I'm not going to sit here and be like, looks matter, but like the personality is what like sells me.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if you're Channing Tatum, whatever.
Channing Tatum.
You got to have a great personality. Like you got to be working with it. And a big dick. Not a big dick. You gotta have like a nice ass and like a decent dick. I love a boyfriend dick.
A boyfriend dick? What's a boyfriend dick?
Well, I have the big dick, so we gotta have the boyfriend dick. You just gotta have something of the sort.
Yes, for anyone listening to this, go check out Joey's bulge.
Ooh,
his bulge on his Instagram.
Yeah.
There's no sock in there.
There's no sock, babe. LargePenisSupportGroup.com. My dick pics are on the internet, which is like crazy.
They are?
Yeah, but it's like I did this like coffee table book for Rick Day, who's like a sex whatever. So if you they're on the internet.
Okay.
So
go
don't
check.
get any ideas.
Go check.
It's tasteful.
Yeah. Okay.
They're tasteful.
Okay.
And then there's a video of a person that looks like me getting fucked, and it's not me.
Okay.
Obviously, you could tell. So, just covering all the bases here.
Covering all the bases. Okay.
No one's going to date me after this podcast, babe.
No, that's
shit,
not.
There's baggage.
Well, but wait, let's talk about the fact that you said you wouldn't date an influencer or a content creator. Why? You are one.
I want someone out of my realm.
You like your opposite. You want to date your opposite.
Yeah,
would you?
For sure.
I think that was a beautiful thing about your past relationship, that you guys were opposite in that way.
And in the beginning, he really believed in me and believed in what I was doing and building. And then when it happened,
and
it was
didn't
like,
need it. Didn't need it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now things fucking change.
Mm-hmm.
I think especially when the spotlight comes and people start changing, and some people really enjoy it, and then they don't really, in the beginning, they don't care. And then they start to really get used to the perks and get used to it's like, it's a crazy, crazy thing. And, he did a reality show with me and then wants to be a private person. Like, I'm confused by that.
Right. So let's actually get into
Real Friends of WeHo.
Real Friends of WeHo. How did you start that? How did that come about? What did they say to you? How did they say to get to you?
Listen, they reached out and we did 6 months of interviews, and then I finally got it. And it happened very quickly. We filmed for 4 months. And I'll say I'm still really proud of that show. And as much as like
I am too,
especially the gay community wants to shit on that show every day, still to this day, like flop. I'm proud of it because I was on a reality show and I was exactly myself.
Yep.
For better or for worse on that show.
Yep.
And, it disappointed me in the way that the gay community didn't show up for a show that, like, could have been good. Like, it was a first jumping off point for other inclusivity and people to be on it. So it proved to me a lot. And, like, seeing people I know even commenting negative stuff on the MTV's thing when it launched, like, and the gay community, I'm like, we're supposed to uplift each other. Why would you ever? We're supposed to protect each other. We're supposed to be there for each other. We're supposed to, like, worry about, like, the rights getting taken away, and you're worried about getting a show canceled. How does my show affect you? And I think people love to hate it, and it was really disappointing. And I'll always stand by it and talk about it. And I know I've talked about it on another podcast before, and they deleted the content of this clip because they were scared. The gay community came with that too. Like, these people are so, like, tone deaf. Like, blah, blah. I'm like, how is creating a gay show with different race and different, that's a beautiful thing. And it was a jumping off point for different cities, different inclusivity, trans, black, white, like Asian. Like, we had so many opportunities to showcase all these different types of people's lives. And it didn't get the good chance that it should have because people were mad that it took 30 minutes off RuPaul's Drag Race. And that wasn't my choice. I mean, I loved RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
And when it was 90 minutes, I'm sure it was great. It wasn't a good decision by the network. We didn't know until like 2 weeks before it aired.
Wow.
And no one knows that. The name changed and the time slot changed.
Wow.
And so we were like, what the fuck? And listen, I'll be real. I was just happy to be there. I was happy and proud of myself for getting a reality show.
Yep. Which
the
you
check
always
was
said.
Great. The bag was good.
Which you always said, though, literally from the day I met you, I'm going to be on a show. The power of manifesting.
And a show exactly like this. I wanted to be on the show. I'm so proud of the show.
Where you can be yourself.
This isn't the last you're going to see of me. We're doing other shows. The show hasn't been canceled. Sorry for the haters. And we're talking about other ways to do it better. And we're not going to cater to the people that try, because no matter what, I've learned every time the queer community tries to create a show like this, it flops because people don't, I don't know why, but the community just doesn't want to see it happen. They're just always going to show, they're like, we want to see people struggle. Well, why wouldn't you want to see someone that's worked really hard and has struggled and push past all the boundaries of people telling them that they weren't enough, making them feel excluded from normal day to day, and then they become successful, and you don't want to watch that? Why?
Well, because, and listen, I think that even in network television, it's like when you see a person that is a part of the LGBTQ community, you're like, oh, they have to have like some sort of like deep, dark problem and blah, blah, blah. Like, why can't they just be their normal self, like a normal person on the show? Why does it have to be the storyline around them being gay or being queer, which is like so crazy in that way? I think we should move past that, number one. Number two, like you said, you got to be on a show and be yourself.
Absolutely. And I was so proud to do that.
Because I have a hot take about these dating shows where there are gay men going on these shows dating women.
Just for the clout.
Exactly.
Just for this. And that's the problem. And the people that hated on the show, I have a question. Would you do the show if you were offered the show? Abso-fucking-lutely you would. But then when you're not on it, you're shitting on it. And listen, do I think the show, when it was cut down to 6 episodes, do I think that it was what was showcased should have been the focus of the show? No.
Right.
I don't think. I think that the things we filmed, they got cut, but I don't have any control over that.
Right.
But
you sign
nothing
away
was fucking doctored or monitored or stirred up. These were real people having real issues with each other and like not getting along. And I think that there was times that we did get along, and we had this really great scene like for the few weeks that we were all getting along, and we went on a trip together, and it was so fucking fun. But we only got the clips of us fighting because we had to fucking shove it into a shorter time slot and shorter episodes. And you didn't get to see all the beautiful moments where we had talked through some real shit. And that's sad. But I think maybe I'm jaded because I got to live it and film it. And I think that everyone feels the same type of way, but you weren't there. You don't know. So I can't, you only get to see what they cut and what they clip.
Which is not up to the cast members.
Not at all. And, it's really disappointing to see how the gay community tried to bash it. And, there was a time where they were putting scat porn underneath MTV's Twitter every time they posted Real Friends of WeHo. But you're worried about trans rights. We're supposed to be protecting our community, but you're wasting your time putting poop and shit and scat porn underneath the MTV. make that make sense. What can you possibly say right now, me sitting here saying this, that will make that okay? And I know when this interview comes out and this comes out and this clip, you should clip this, because I want to know, why is that okay when we have a lot of bigger fucking fish to fry in our world right now, rather than getting a show canceled because you lost 90 minutes of a show? Like, that's just something that is not mindful. It's not demure and it's not cutesy. And I think that when there does become a show that does hit, hopefully our community will be in a better place. But right now I'm like, I see these TikToks of these people, gay, queer, trans, and they're like, queer right, like trans rights. We need to protect this creator. We need to ride for them. And then it's the same people shitting on a gay show. Why was it hurting people? Like, it's just like, I truly can't get it through. And like, people are going to say like, get over it. Like, why are you still talking about the show? Because I'm fucking proud of the show. And I'm always going to be disappointed in the way that it was received from the gay community.
But,
and I'm not afraid to say that out loud.
But did you also get good praise from it? There was good praise from it too,
Absolutely,
right?
from normal fucking human beings. Of course, some of
All
the gay
your girlfriends
community,
loved
all
it.
the girlfriends, some gays, but it was like a whisper thing. Like, by the way, like, I really love the show. People were scared to talk
say
about
that they were watching
There's
it.
very few videos I saw on TikTok reviews of people saying there were some ballsy people, and I really appreciate, you know who you are, the very few people that came out and said, I think it's a great show. And most people just wanted to join. That's unfortunate in the society as a whole. Most people are bandwagoners and they want to jump on the bandwagon and they want to just pile on because they're too afraid to show that they have their own opinion. They did like something. I'm the bitch that'll be like, this is a hot take, but I fucking love it. I don't give a shit. But the gay community just started piling.
Yeah. Do you notice when you post one thing, the first 3 comments, if they're positive, everyone's like, yes, bitch, yes. And if you post something and the first 3 are negative, everyone's like, no, yeah.
There you go.
So wild, because people, before they comment, they go to the comments to see what other people are saying. And then they form their opinion after they see what other people are saying.
They're bandwagoning. And like, that's what happened with the show. And I feel like, you know, if we don't, like, us as normal human beings, when we see a show, anybody, most people, when they don't like something or see content, we consume content all day that we don't like. To go on and to try and make a video about how much you hate something or comment hateful stuff, and I still get comments about the show every day. Like, flop, like, are you mad about the show? Blah, blah. Why are you so bothered?
Well,
go
listen.
back to your cracked Samsung phone and focus on that. That is more important than than a show you don't like.
But you know what? When you put yourself out there, and this is another thing they'll say, when you put yourself out there on a TV show, because there are people right now who never saw the show who's going to watch it next week or going to watch it for the first time. So that's why you're always going to get those messages. I still get messages from Bachelor in Paradise and Bachelor for people
you always will for the rest of your life.
Because some people, this is the first time they're seeing this crazy shit happen to me, right? So they're messaging me saying this, saying that, right? So I'm fully mindful of that. I am mindful of that.
Very demure.
Very, very demure of that. But I'm saying that to say there are people in New York and LA and, living these lives that the real friends were living. Then there's also those people who are living in Texas or in the South or in places where they don't feel safe, or all over the world in places where they don't feel safe to be gay and to see people living their life, doing their things in a more positive way. Yes, there's drama. Yes, there's beef. It's a TV show. Same thing with the Housewives, right? It's a TV show. But that for me, when I watched the show, I was like, look at these people living their lives and showing who they are to all the people who are afraid to be who they really are.
And that's why the show was important. And that's why
it was important.
The fact that I didn't have a show like that growing up, to just watch normal gay guys living their normal day-to-day life, an aspiration for people that don't have that life right now to look up to. Why is that a bad thing? Like, am I missing something? No. Like, I would have loved to have a show that I look up to, but RuPaul's Drag Race, people love, but it's drag, It's like, it's an art form that's beautiful in our community. And I love drag more than anything, but a lot of gay guys can't relate to that, and that's normal. And like, it's great to watch, but there's definitely a lot of heartfelt moments in RuPaul that I think are important, and I think Ru does a good job of highlighting those things for sure.
Amazing.
But like, the day to day of that show is the art form of drag, which is incredible. But, you know, a whole show based around just lives that are aspiring and something I look up to, like that's something that was missing. And I think it had really good potential. And I think the next season, bitch, is going to be better and done better. And I think that like we'll have more stuff. And if you call me delusional for thinking that we'll have another show like that, so be it. I don't really give a fuck anymore. I'll be back on TV very soon. And I will always talk about it.
Yeah. I think that living your most authentic self and showing that to people, you can never be regret that or be upset about that. You can't, you know, and people are gonna love it, hate it. But also, yeah, I mean, shady McShade. There were people that I was shocked. And also, listen, there are certain things that I watch where I'm like, yeah, that's not really for me, but that's still not, I'm still not going to bash it.
You're not going to go make a fucking campaign. There was a fucking petition to get the show canceled. It didn't work, bitch. But it was like some of the people I saw riding behind, I'm like, wow.
Yeah. And
making fun of the show. Wow. Like, I get it. We knew that it wasn't going to get like the best thing, but the way that it really got the worst.
First season.
The gay community has always done this. And like, we knew it was going to be backlash. We all talked about it together as a whole. Like, before we knew how bad it was really going to be after the RuPaul's thing, like, it got crazy.
Well, hopefully the network doesn't do that again. Like,
just put it on Paramount like it was supposed to be on.
Put it in its own space.
As a streaming thing. Like,
give it its own space.
Yes.
Yeah. And the other thing is, regardless if people are going to hate on it or not, people still watched it. And so to take away Drag Race, right? It's like, why?
For 30 minutes, yeah.
Because they thought that they were going
to be RuPaul's Drag Race.
That lead-in.
Real Friends. Yes, it was going to be this great.
Yeah, the gay night. We don't need the gay night. We need it to have its own thing.
Have its own thing. Exactly. They thought it was going to be gay night. Exactly, Natasha. That's what happened. And then people started making the videos of turning off the TV when Real Friends came on so they could wait for Untucked because they want to give us our 30 minutes back was the chant. And it's like, girl, it's not that deep. Life is too short.
But I do think that, you know, in talking about this right now, it was like more of there are certain people who was just more upset that the 30 minutes got cut versus the hate for the show. That also happened.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, it was hard because you put your work into something, and filming a TV show is not easy. Like, let me tell you, it's a lot of emotions. It's long. I mean, you did the most famous, like, that's crazy. And you know. Yeah. And then to have something come out and then just have to deal with all this hate and seeing the scat porn underneath MTV, like, it was disappointing. Yeah. But that's why I still sit here. I'm a positive person. I'm always going to be proud of that show. And I'm always upfront about missing filming. I loved filming the show. I loved being a part of it. And I think people want me to. They want to be like, he's so desperate to be back on TV. Yeah, I loved being on TV, but I'm not stressed about it because I know I'm gonna have another opportunity. I mean, that's what happens.
You have a show that you put on TikTok and Instagram
There's
every
a show every day, bitch.
show every day.
That's true.
It is. It's true. It's true. So you just have to keep doing your thing. And I think when you have something to say and you do actually want. You know, it's all great to have the fame and the this and the that, but they say that fame or power or money doesn't change you. It just enhances who you are. And you could be doing a lot other things than inspiring people every day on your platform. Then you could be doing other things than that. So
absolutely.
So you are still you, and I'm just, as your friend, I'm still glad to know that Joey is still in there. You know what I mean? Bitch. The Joey that I met, I don't know, 9 years ago, whatever.
I'm always changing, and I think that you can attest to this. I'm a completely different person than you met way back when. I've grown so much, but I'm still the core of like
you're the core
who I am, and there's things about me that ain't gonna change. Hate to break it to you, haters, but I'm very aware, and I think people try and jab at me online about who I am or how I come off or cheesy or whatever the fuck it is. I'm aware. Yeah. The joke's on you that you're not like in on the joke.
Like, that you're not in on the joke.
Like, you know, it's like I'm in on the joke too. I get who I am. I'm not like I am a little delusional, and we know that, and that's part of what makes me outgoing, spontaneous, whatever, but you're not in on the joke because I'm in on the joke. Like, well, I get it.
But also you're very, I mean, we haven't talked about this, but you're also a very handsome man. And I think that also is something that is jarring for a lot of people to hear that you just are on here talking about this or talking about, and you seem so comfortable. And I think that people are so used to people that look like you being more mysterious or being more like, I don't fucking know, right? And so that's like another thing. I mean, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
Exactly. I mean, that's fucking on, period. And, you know, it ramps up, and I've been through it for so long, but I'm never going to give them a time of day. I'm never going to, like, respond to stupid shit. Like, keep going.
You have changed a lot.
More engagement.
And you have, I mean, there was a clip that went viral from this podcast that everybody had something crazy to say, but I said, you know what, y'all, it's invoking conversation. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
And expose yourself as well as you guys are saying these crazy ass things.
Get that Samsung screen fix that you're typing from, and talk about it if you're so big britches behind a computer screen. So, and we know it's a Samsung, and we know it's cracked.
I want to know, so you do these transformation videos where like you show like you when you were younger to now, which I love, by the way, because again, you are such a handsome guy. The glow up. Yeah, your glow up videos. And you are such a handsome guy. And I think that's also so inspiring for people to see like, okay, yeah, I may look like this now, but I can look at like this and be my best self or whatever. But do you have words for your younger self now that you have transformed into the person that you are today? Do you have something to say, or even to your younger followers? Wisdom, some gems for them.
Everything that you're going through right now is all going to be worth it in the end. Everything's going to turn out way better than you ever imagined. Maybe it's just not that deep. Maybe it's not that important. Believe in yourself. Happiness is an inside job, and it has to come with you. And don't put your happiness in anybody else's hand, because you ain't going to get it. And enjoy the fucking journey, because it's the only fucking part you remember in the first place anyway. Enjoy the highs, enjoy the lows, but remind yourself that like with the ebbs come the best flows, and life is too fucking short.
Yep.
And it's cheesy, but it's true.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Hidden Gems crew, baby.
Yeah, I love you so much, and I love your realness and
thank you.
How you express yourself, and I think people love it, regardless if they're saying that they don't or not. Like, you are the internet bestie, and people can hate if they want to, but people really sometimes need to hear what you have to say. For the people who are hating, it's like someone else needed to hear this. Period. Right?
Period.
Okay, I love you.
I love you so much. Thank you for having me on here. This was very therapeutic.
I see. We changing the minds about therapy now?
Yeah, maybe. Minds? I feel like I'm in therapy. That's why I look at my friends and I'm like, why do we need therapy? I have you guys.
Well, we feel the same way. Last hot take.
Okay.
New York or LA?
LA.
Oh!
I know. I think y'all thought I was going to say New York because I've been spending so much time here.
I was hoping.
I'm still on my LA kick. I love having a car. I love having a yard. I love going on hikes, the lifestyle. And, you know, it's definitely more lonely in LA. But sometimes you need that. Sometimes it's a good thing.
Yep. Bi-coastal is the answer.
Bi-coastal is the answer. Period.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Joey. I want to have you here whenever you fucking want to.
I'll be back next time, babe. Episode 2. Get ready. Life is always changing, right? And I feel like the next time I come, I could be in a whole different place. So I'll keep you posted.
You can have a fucking Emmy. You're going to bring an Emmy right here.
I'm gunning for that Emmy. I got to get that
Emmy. Well, that's great. I'm so glad that you're here. We have an event to go to. That's why we queued.
We got to pop. We got to gas it, sir.
Yeah, we got to go. So
love you.
I love you so much. Thank you for coming. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thanks for all the gems, baby. Okay, next week, I will see you guys next week for more gems with Natasha. If you have some questions for Joey, don't send him dick pics. Just DM him, okay?
Yeah, love you. Send me dick pics. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Hidden Gems with me, your host, Natasha Parker. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps grow our budding community. Follow me on IG at Natasha Parker and the show at Gems with Natasha. Hidden Gems with Natasha Parker is produced by Gotham Production Studios.